everyone, my name is Courtney. I'm the Teen Services Librarian here at Missouri River Regional Library, and we're bringing to you the first of our Take and Make crafts. We're starting out simple with Cubecraft this week. All you have to do is drop by the library and pick up one of our Cubecraft templates. In this case, I've chosen Jake from Adventure Time. And there's a whole variety you can choose from. If you haven't gotten one yet, you can still drop by the library and pick one up because we'll have them at the children's desk for you to pick up, or if you're in Lynn, you can pick them up at the main desk there. The first thing you need to do to get going with this is to cut out all the pieces. So many of them are, that part is fairly obvious, right? You can throw away the rest of it, but be sure to keep the actual picture of the character you're making just so you can use it for reference. Now, to make this a bit of a shorter video, I've already cut out the pieces for this guy. So here we are. We have our big pieces and then we have our smaller pieces. One thing to remember when you're cutting these out is to look for some of the smaller pieces, which you can see here like this. You can see a little white line in between the black box and the yellow part. You do want to cut a little bit into that where you see the white line so that you can fold it like so. You may have noticed that there are already some cuts in here as already. We have actually gone ahead and cut these with an X-Acto knife for you so you don't have to do it. If you decide you want to print these out at home, we recommend using cardstock, and you'll definitely want some sort of utility knife or X-Acto knife and something underneath to protect whatever the surface is you're cutting on, because you need to have these little slots are what are going to hold your Cubecraft together. You don't need any other tools beyond scissors for this. In other words, you don't need tape or glue or anything either. All right, so once you've got your stuff all cut out, you've got your pieces laid out, it's time to start folding. So the big parts are obviously the easiest. You can see pretty well where these lines are going to be. So fold there, and I do recommend doing all your folds before you start trying to put anything together. Otherwise, you might end up a little frustrated.
Fast forward it or whatever.
Okay, that's fine.
I think that my shaky cam will be more pronounced if we speed up the video.
Possibly. Okay, as you can see, I've folded all of the pieces. They all have creases in them now. So now it's time to start putting them together. And you'll note that I did fold down all of the tabs as well. And now is a good time to pay attention to what letters are on the tabs. The letter on the short tab matches the letter on the slot that it will go through. So if I have a Y here and a Y here, that means that this tab is going to eventually slide into this spot. There we go, like that. Now they may not hold at first. Try not to let that frustrate you. You'll probably also need to take them out again to get them together. But once you start folding them, they'll come together a little bit easier. You can also kind of go in and separate those slits a little bit just to help ease your tabs in. So now I'm almost done with Jake's head here. And as you can see, some parts still want to pop out a little bit, but that's okay because you can just pop them back in. All right, so our head is complete now. And now we can do the body.
All right, so I'm going to continue recording you, and I'll do like a yakety sax or something fast forwarded.
Yeah, do like a Benny Hill theme.
Yeah.
And then we'll just chase each other around the teen zone.
Stop it. You're making me shake the camera.
Sorry. Okay. There is his body. And here are the legs. Now this is where it's a good idea to double check and make sure you're not folding where you don't need to fold. Some of the details are going to look like places to fold, except here these are his legs, and if you look on the picture, you can see there's a line showing you where the legs are separated, and you can see his little feet. So you wouldn't want to fold there because that's not actually where they want you to fold. So it's a good idea to check your reference just to make sure that you are folding in the right places. These little parts get kind of tricky just because there are so many different parts to fold, but it does work out and it will make sense just with a little bit of patience. So I have most of I have it all folded and it's time to put together. Again, this is where you can see if there's a little white line in between two seams, that means you do need to cut it, so that part is going to fold. Again, you're matching letters to letters. So I didn't fold that one bit. There we go. That's better. So, and this part is definitely a little tricky. You want to be very patient. Try not to rush it. Another note on cutting, you do definitely want to make sure that you are cutting pretty exactly along the lines. Otherwise, you're going to have trouble fitting your creature together. Same with folding. You definitely want to fold on the lines because this is really designed to fit together a specific way. And if you're folding all over the place, it's going to be really hard to eventually put it all together, which is what we're going to do now. So you may have noticed that there are some other slots here, like those. And you see that we have tabs sticking up. They're also labeled with letters. So R is going to go with R, S is going to go with S. But what I'm going to do first is do the smaller pieces because they're going to be a little bit harder to get in. And I still have an opening here that I can help guide the pieces in with. So I'm going to match them up. So I've got a Q here and a Q here and a P here and a P here. So we stick those into our slots. There we go. And now you can see why if you didn't cut that exactly, it might be hard to get those in. But now we have an arm attached. And now let's attach the other arm. There we go. It's okay if some of the parts come out. If you really want to make this stable, you can add glue, but I definitely recommend putting it together first and then maybe adding glue in parts. If you glue it or anything before it's all put together, you run the risk of having a lot of trouble putting it together. So I'm going to add his feet now. So that's where, here on the bottom, C and D. There we go. He's got feet now. And now it's time to add the head and we will be done. So matching up R to R and S to S, which are my final two tabs. And there we go. A complete Cubecraft. Thanks for watching. If you have any other questions, feel free to email me at watersc@merle.org.